Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're in the kitchen again today, and today we're here at the stove because we are going to make an orange browned butter frosting. So in order to make this particular frosting, which I do enjoy, it's got a really delicious deep orange flavor, and it's got kind of a caramelly aftertaste, and the caramelly aftertaste comes from melted and browned butter. So before we can make the actual frosting, we have to make some browned butter. So I am going to end up time-lapsing this because this takes a few minutes. But what you're going to do is you're going to put half a cup of butter in a saucepan and you're going to heat that over medium heat, okay, on your stove. And then what you're going to do is you're going to stir it when it becomes stirrable. So once this is melted enough, you can start stirring it. And you'll stir it fairly consistently. It doesn't have to be constantly, but you don't want it to go more than about 30 seconds or so without getting a good stir. So you're going to need a whisk for that. And you're just going to stir it until it turns this golden brown color, and you'll see when it does that. Okay, so I'm actually going to time-lapse this because this is really, really boring, and you'll see how it turns into browned butter. Just bear in mind that this is time-lapsed, so it will take you a little bit longer than this video shows. And there it goes. You see it changes from a yellow color to a light brown. When it does that, as soon as it turns light brown, remove it immediately from the heat, turn off the heat. Keep mixing it for another 30 seconds or so, just so it doesn't scorch. Remember, you're keeping it off the heat now. No heat, okay? No heat at all. So just keep stirring it for a couple of minutes here, just so you make sure it doesn't burn. So that's the color you want, kind of this caramelly color, not a dark brown, because dark means it's scorched. There we go. See? Now, before we can use this in our icing, we actually have to let it cool. So set a 10-minute timer and let this cool. Don't touch it. Okay, once you're sure it's not going to burn on the bottom, and it's not, it's good, it's fine. You're now just going to let it sit. You're going to let it cool for 10 minutes before you actually use it in your frosting. All right, so we'll come back as soon as this is cool. All right, our browned butter is cool enough to work with now, because if it's too hot, it's just not gonna go well. So what you're gonna do is you need your mixer. So I'm using the Bosch Compact Kitchen Machine, the 400-watt version. So in that mixing bowl, you're going to put 3 cups of powdered sugar, also known as icing sugar, depends on where you are. Here we call it icing sugar. And what you want to do is you're going to need one of those rubber spatulas. This is mine. Okay? We don't need the whisk anymore. And we're going to take our browned butter and we're just going to use our spatula to scrape all of it out. And we're just going to add it to our powdered sugar. Okay, there we go. Now we don't need the pot anymore. You are going to need your spatula. Okay, so we need that. Now we need more liquid than that, honestly. So we're going to use orange juice instead of using milk. So drop this down, start it going on low, and you're going to add orange juice until you have a consistency that you like. Now you're going to go anywhere from about a 1/4 cup to a 1/3 of a cup, and you can add more icing sugar as you go, because you may indeed want to make this a little bit more. You know, you might want to add some icing sugar so that you can have more icing. So keep adding and turn up the speed. So I am actually going to add 1 more cup of icing sugar. Okay, so add an extra cup because I do want more icing sugar. I'm going to blend this in, and then if I need to thin it out a little bit more, I'll add just a tiny bit more of orange juice. So let's see. So I definitely need a little bit more, but I'm only going to put about a teaspoon in at a time. You don't want to overdo it and end up having to add more icing sugar. So it really is that simple, okay? That is your frosting. It's delicious and sweet and tastes just like oranges. So it is a simple thing, and you really, all you need is orange juice. Everything else, if you bake at all, you probably already had butter and powdered sugar. So it really is that simple to make. You just need to make sure you have orange juice, which a lot of us have anyway. So give that a shot. Hopefully you enjoy it. I really do. It's got a really nice orange flavor, which it should. It's made with orange juice. So pair that with any kind of cake you like. I like pairing it with an orange cake because it's quite delicious. So I will link in the description at some point an orange cake that I like to pair this with. But otherwise, all you're going to do is use it up, spread it on a cake, and be happy. All right, so you add enough orange juice to give you the consistency you want. I want a slightly stiffer icing, so I'm not going to add any more. That is about it for us here today at Andersen Acres. Remember that you can add more orange juice or more frosting or more powdered sugar as necessary to get you as much frosting as you actually need. So that is literally it. We'll hope to see you tomorrow.